Is our destination today for the first of two World Cup semi-finals. Alexis Lalas, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Thierry Henry, Rebecca Lowe with you. We will hear from the second goal scorer, Pedro Porro, shortly, but we'll begin, Lex, by talking everyone through the story of this game.
Yeah, the stars are out, on and off the field for that matter, and this is just like I said, an innocuous cross that comes across. You think, all right, he'll deal with it. Digne on that far side. He makes a complete mess of this, doesn't recognize where Lamine Yamal is, and Lamine Yamal says, I will sneak in on your offside there, blind side, and it's a penalty. Basal steps up, crushes it, absolutely crushes it in the back of the net, and just like that, Spain up 1-0, off to the races, feeling good about themselves.
And in the 28th minute, you're going to see an early injury from William Saliba. You can see now he goes down, some kind of injury, and France has to do their first substitution. Maxence Lacroix comes in. Crystal Palace legend, not difficult to beat. In the 58th minute, Pedro Porro makes 1-2. Look at the French players, they're ball watchers. What happens? He comes free, bam, 2-0. 1-2 with the striker, comes free. The French players, they watch the ball, follow your guy. Whenever they do 1-2, you'll follow your guy. Don't watch the ball. And makes it 2-0. And happy.
And then we thought maybe, but just a maybe, something can happen from here. Laporte miscontrolling the ball, Cherki feeding Kylian Mbappe, and Simon comes out. I thought that maybe Desiree Doué was going to take it. One touch, it's a bit difficult. But then Unai Simon comes back, gets the ball, saves it. Maybe if it was Zlatan, he would have tried to volley it from here. But he's not Zlatan, couldn't finish it. It was too little from France at the end of the very day. We already talked about it. They controlled the game on and off the ball. They showed why they're European champion. They're showing why they're going to the final. There is nothing to add. They were far more, I think they were superior. There's nothing to say about it. Sometimes you just have to think about it and see what you can do next time you meet them. But, like I said, Spain, well done.
Two goal scorers for Spain today. Then, as you saw, Oyarzabal, he has 17 in his last 18, 30 in 60 for Spain. The other goal scorer, not as many. Pedro Porro with 2 for Spain, both at this World Cup. Let's hear from him now.
Well, it's a dream come true. I couldn't even dream of this. I'm so happy. I'm so happy because of the team's attitude from beginning to end. I think that we did such an amazing game. We gave it our all in order just to go through to the final. We knew they were a very tough team that were doing things really well. And this is our team. It's not about me.
Pedro Porro with the second goal today. But I want to talk once again. You mentioned him at half-time, Oyarzabal. What a contribution to this team. 30 goals and 60 appearances for Spain, Thierry.
Do you remember the first ever day?
I do remember.
Okay, I said people don't show respect to Oyarzabal. Okay, now I think they will.
Why do you think they don't?
Because he's playing for Sociedad, and maybe that's not maybe your typical team that people think, oh my God, he doesn't play for Barcelona, he doesn't play for Atletico, he doesn't play for Real Madrid. But put some respect on his name, because when you look at the numbers and look at also where he scored those goals and when he scored those goals, you just have to respect that. That's about it. I know he's not your step over guys, not make guys and whatnot. But one thing that he surely knows where is where the net is. And so you have to respect that, and it's been brilliant for a very long time for Spain.
Zlatan, maybe he's not fashionable, like Thierry says, plays for Real Sociedad instead of a Barcelona or a Real Madrid. But as Thierry talks about, the numbers you can't argue with. No,
the numbers are crazy, and but if I speak about Spain, I don't speak about one star. The team is the star. When they shine collective. Even if you have Yamal. But this is not a team that is dependent on one player. It's not an individual performance. This is a team performance. Everything they do is as a team. And this guy does these crazy numbers because of the team. And he's not your typical star. When you talk about Yamal, you talk about Mbappe, Olise, he doesn't shine in that way. But he does what's the most important. The goals that count, and they're in the World Cup finals. I prefer to score those goals, to come to the final, than to be a star and not come to the final. So congrats to him. I want to give also credit to the France team. They were shining. They did amazing things. Deschamps, he did an amazing job with the French national team. I wish him all the best in the next chapter. And we have been enjoying this French team. And they lost against a better team today. And congrats also to Spain for reaching the World Cup final.
I know you said it in a few moments ago, but I'm going to ask you more about Didier Deschamps in just a second. I just want to ask you about Spain, Lex. Have they just warmed themselves perfectly into this tournament?
Yeah, I mean, every coach will tell you that you don't win it in the beginning, and you, to the extent that you can, you like to get better over the course of a tournament. Well, this was against a French team that they did this, and this was as good as they have been. I think this performance was something, like I said, something that you put up on the wall and say, this is how we play the game, and this is why we play the game. You know, to your point about Oyarzabal, yeah, he doesn't scream movie star. We love our stars, and he is a star in the sense that he puts the ball in the back of the net. And those people that do are going to get the attention. But the star of this team had a good game, but still didn't star in this game. He had the possession. He kept the possession. So even in this moment, the star of the team is just part of this team, and that's what makes them really, really good.
They didn't start the best way, Spain, but it's not how you start; it's how you finish. And they didn't concede a goal also today. This is the 7th. They concede only one game out of 7.
Let's finish before we head down to Rob and the guys pitch side. I wanted to ask you again, Didier Deschamps, I said it was goodbye to him. Of course, he will take charge of the third place game on Saturday down in Miami against the loser of either England or Argentina. 25 years of his life with this team. I'm just going to give you another few moments to say about him.
Well, I said it before. Thank you for what he has done as a player. Thank you for what he has done as a coach. Yes, we know the 3rd and 4th place. It's better to finish 3rd. I don't know if he does have that medal, by the way, but he has them all at the end of the very day. But no, look, like I said, today wasn't supposed to be, but we will always remember him. I don't know what he's going to do next. Zlatan said it. We wish him all the very best. We all know who is coming next. So
Zidane.
Hopefully, you said it. I don't know. It hasn't been announced. But look, we all know it's coming next. We also wish him all the very best. Hopefully, Didier can also finish, with a win, and maybe Mbappe can finish top goal scorer and all of that. But once again, Didier Deschamps has been outstanding for the national team. So, Didier, merci.
Yeah, reports are that Zinedine Zidane will come in as the new head coach of this France team.
All the best, Zizou!
Yeah, but what a bunch of players to take over. Right, let's get some more post-match reaction. Pitch side, Landon Donovan, Javier Hernandez and Rob Stone. Guys?
When they meet in Atlanta. So we know the first of the finalists of this World Cup. Tomorrow we will find out the second of them. Let's have a look at the second goal. Feels like we're picking a little bit on Digne, the fullback, doesn't it? But it's possible not for you to point out where he's gone wrong with his second goal as well.
Mark, you maybe have to look. Deschamps is an incredible manager who's won amazing things, but you do have to look at why he didn't take him off earlier. He was really struggling at half-time, said that he was hanging on for dear life, and what you see in this second goal is the classic covering yourself, and you're basically going too wide towards your wide player because you don't want him to run at you. And
look at that, playing it from their own goalkeeper as well, Gary. They were so confident at this stage.
That's too easy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Look how much space Olmo's got.
The midfield's, to be fair, non-existent, which is a problem, but the back four are in situ, they're in place. They're structurally OK at this point. Obviously, France do OK in this initial bit of defending. He reads that one, he heads it, he's got to get his legs back up again. He's working those legs, and then as you see him here now, he's frightened of Lamine Yamal getting the ball to his feet, so he goes up. Now he's going to get back in now, and he doesn't. He stays where he is.
But you know what, Gary, when I see these goals, you see players make mistakes. And it's clearly a mistake. Again, maybe his confidence gone. He doesn't know what to stick or twist against really good wide players. But you expect your mates then to cover for you. I think it happens all the time. Players do get caught out of position, but no one's helping each other. That's where they didn't play as a team.
No one's very alert to that, it seems.
That's why they didn't play as a team, because the whole part of being a football team is your mates cover you when you're having a bad time. You're never going to come to a game of football where everyone plays well. And obviously the attacking players of France are going to be criticised today. But the French defensive midfield were still all over the place. They weren't doing the basics right. So whatever about the attacking players not turning up, the team behind them didn't exactly give them a foundation to want to win the game.
When you look at the goal, I think Digne, of course, should do better. We're talking about somebody with the experience. But in the other side as well, I think Doué has a responsibility as well, because Porro played the 1-2 around him, and then he has to just be in front of him and to stop his run or to follow him. And I think we can blame Dean because of his tactical position, but Doué in this situation as well has to be more decisive and more defensive-minded.
But if you're expecting a young winger to stay with a 1-2, and that's your sort of last line of defence, you're asking for trouble, I think, anyway.
Yeah, but we are talking about somebody who won Champions League football.
I know, but
we're playing this level. So this defensive side, I think when you play against Spain, is different if you play against Morocco. So the quality of the opposition players is much better. So defensively, there's awareness that has to go to a different level.
Look, it's a lesson for Doué. I still would think an experienced fullback there, as he sees what's developing, he's got to tuck back in.
It's strange that we're saying it, but you look at the French team, they almost look, they lack confidence.
Yeah.
They
lacked energy as well.
It looked like they were waiting. They were waiting for someone to do something.
Yeah. Yes.
That's what it felt like to me. Yeah.
Dembele,
Well, Dembele had one of the worst games I've ever seen him
We
play.
talked about Dembele, obviously we talked about Elise a lot. It was actually fair dues. Lamine Yamal, 19 yesterday. We said he'd had a quiet World Cup. He turned up, didn't he? How impressed were you with him today?
Very impressed, you know, because like you're wondering with the injuries that he's had, is the groin and the ankle, but like at no stage did he look like he was ever like holding on to him, like, oh, I'm not going to go past her. Every opportunity he had to try and go past, cut inside, whatever he's doing, he was doing it with real vigour. Like, look, he's trying to take on 2 players here. He really did show up today. He showed up.
And he injected the energy in
Without
the team, a bit like what was saying France didn't
well, he's the one that they need to do it. So you were wondering, has he got the pace to go past them with the injuries he's had? And he did. And he's the one that can take them out.
And the players behind him, Righty, when they know he's got the better of his play, they'll just keep giving it to him. You've got him, because you think the fullback knows, his teammates know. You go, just give him the ball. He'll get us up the pitch.
That was unlucky because the fractions in which he was offside there. Because you could see that he knew that he had Digne, and Digne knew that he had him, so he's petrified.
And everyone else did, Righty. That's my point. That his teammates would have known. And they
gives you such a lift, doesn't it?
Of course, just keep giving it to him.
Rodri, Ruiz, Olmo, Pedri, Gavi off the bench. And we're not being wise after the event, but that is some midfield. I'm thinking about Spain, whoever they play in the final now.
Yeah,
they'll be able to keep the ball in the final, maybe in a way that their opponents might not be able to.
Now, listen, they were quite really impressive in possession. I think we were all aware about the quality on possession. But today, I think they really frustrated this French team. And then there was so much space between the line. Or the French, when they were going to put pressure, they wasn't doing it collectively. So they play between the lines. And when you give them space with the quality that they have, they will hurt any team.
They won the game because they're out of possession today. We all love football. We love watching brilliant teams. It was a joy to watch. But you got to remind yourself what they do out of possession, and they got the rewards. They were outstanding. Their work rate. They worked in packs. Did intensity to their play, a purpose, almost the opposite to the French.
At no stage did they ease off, because they knew what could happen.
Absolutely. Well, we were waiting for the one goal and then the comeback. Well, it didn't happen. Spain very deservedly into the final.